Imagine possessing such overwhelming strength that could face entire armies and defeat lions with your bare hands. This was Samson's reality, one of Israel's most iconic judges, whose strength did not come from his muscles, but of his promise to God. Today, we will unravel the epic story of Samson, exploring how your extraordinary strength it shaped his destiny in ways he could never imagine. Prepare yourself for a journey of power, passion, and betrayal. Samson is known as the strongest man in the world, a legendary figure whose physical strength was unmatched. His story is narrated in the Bible, presenting extraordinary feats and challenges that reveal not only his strength, but also his weaknesses and humanity. A Nazirite is an individual consecrated to God, following specific vows that include abstinence from alcohol, not cutting his hair, and avoiding contact with the dead. The importance of this vow lies in spiritual dedication and separation for a divine purpose, reflecting a life of devotion and purity. Samson's birth occurs during a period of Philistine oppression over Israel. His arrival is seen as hope for the people, promising a liberator capable of facing and defeating enemies, bringing relief and hope in times of difficulty. An angel appears to Samson's mother, announcing his miraculous birth. He instructs that the boy will be a Nazirite from the womb, destined to begin the liberation of Israel from the Philistines. This divine annunciation establishes Samson's importance and unique destiny. Samson's parents receive specific instructions from the angel on how to raise him. They must strictly follow the precepts of the Nazirite vow. These divine guidelines are fundamental to ensuring that Samson fulfills his role in the history of Israel, highlighting the importance of obedience and spiritual preparation. Nazirite's vow was a special dedication to God, characterized by three main prohibitions: not cutting one's hair, not consuming alcohol, and avoiding contact with the dead. This commitment symbolized purity and total consecration, highlighting the person as someone set apart for a unique divine purpose. Samson was born at a time when the Israelites were under Philistine oppression. His birth was announced by an angel promising liberation for the people. His arrival into the world was seen as a sign of hope and renewal, bringing with it the promise of incomparable strength. Samson's birth was marked by a miracle. His mother, considered sterile, received a visit from an angel who announced that she would have a son destined for great things. This divine origin gave Samson an aura of special purpose, predestining him to be a liberator. Since he was a child, Samson was raised under the strict vow of a Nazirite. His parents faithfully followed divine instructions to ensure that he grew up set apart for God's work. This consecrated environment shaped his character, preparing him for the challenges he would face as a judge in Israel. The first signs of Samson's extraordinary strength began to appear in his youth. A notable example was when he killed a lion with his bare hands, demonstrating unusual physical power. This feat not only impressed his contemporaries, but also reaffirmed his divine calling. Samson, in search of a wife, falls in love with a Philistine woman from Timnah. Against his parents' wishes, he insists on marriage. During the celebration, he proposes a riddle to the guests, posing fine clothes. The riddle revolves around his experience with the lion he killed. The Philistines, unable to solve the riddle, pressure Samson's wife to find out the answer. She convinces him to reveal the secret, betraying his trust. Enraged, Samson fulfills the bet, but kills 30 Philistines to obtain the promised clothes, marking the beginning of his revenge. Feeling betrayed, Samson seeks revenge against the Philistines. He captures 300 foxes, ties torches to their tails, and releases them into the enemy's fields. The crops are devastated by fire, causing great damage to the Philistines and increasing tension between Samson and his adversaries. In a subsequent confrontation, Samson faces a crowd of Philistines. Armed only with the jawbone of a donkey, he kills 1,000 men. This extraordinary act demonstrates not only his physical strength, but also his capacity for improvisation and resistance, further solidifying his reputation as an unbeatable warrior. The Philistines continue to pursue Samson, hoping to capture him. One night, he rips out the gates of the city of Gaza and carries them to the top of a hill. This impressive feat not only humiliates his enemies, but also demonstrates his constant defiance and contempt for Philistine power. Delilah appeared in Samson's life as a charming but treacherous figure. Her beauty and cunning quickly captivated Israel's powerful judge. The relationship between the two became intense and full of passion, but it also marked the beginning of Samson's downfall, as Delilah had hidden intentions. Delilah's betrayal was meticulous and devastating. Under pressure from the Philistines, she used her closeness to Samson to discover the secret of her strength. After several failed attempts, he finally managed to get him to reveal that his power resided in his never-cut hair, a sign of his vow as a Nazirite. With the secret revealed, Delilah acted quickly. She cut Samson's hair while he slept, allowing the Philistines to easily capture him. The loss of his strength was immediate and devastating, leaving him vulnerable and powerless in the face of his enemies. The betrayal culminated in a moment of profound vulnerability. Captured, Samson was taken by the Philistines, who wasted no time in humiliating him. They blinded him and imprisoned him in Gaza, where he was forced to perform heavy labor in a mill. The once invincible warrior was now a prisoner, subjected to the mockery and cruelty of his captors. In prison, Samson experienced a period of reflection and repentance. As his hair began to grow back, he realized the depth of his mistakes and turned to God in prayer. This time of humiliation and penance set the stage for his final act of redemption and strength. In the temple of Dagon, Samson was taken to entertain the Philistines during a great celebration. With his renewed strength, he asked God to grant him the power to destroy his enemies. With one last act of strength, he toppled the temple's columns, killing everyone inside, including himself. Samson's death was a devastating blow to the Philistines, as he managed to eliminate many of their leaders and warriors. This final act of heroism showed Samson's redemption and his dedication to God. Fulfilling his mission as judge and liberator of Israel, Samson is often seen as a tragic hero whose life was marked by great strength and human weaknesses. His story serves as a reminder of the complexities of human nature and the importance of faith and redemption, leaving a lasting legacy for posterity. The lessons from Samson's life are profound and multifaceted. His story shows us the importance of obedience to divine directives and how uncontrolled force can lead to tragedy. Samson's trajectory serves as a warning about the dangers of pride and self-sufficiency. The Nazirite vow, assumed by Samson since his birth, is a commitment to holiness and dedication to God. This vow required abstinence from wine, not cutting one's hair, and avoiding contact with the dead. Breaking these rules resulted in spiritual and physical consequences, as seen in Samson's life. Samson's strength was an extraordinary gift, but his true strength lay in his relationship with God. When he deviated from his spiritual principles, his physical strength weakened. This duality highlights the importance of maintaining faith and morality above all else. Samson's personal choices directly influenced his destiny. His impulsive decisions and problematic relationships, especially with Delilah, brought great difficulties. The story of Samson illustrates how our actions and decisions shape our path, for better or worse. Women played crucial roles in Samson's life. His mother dedicated him to God, while Delilah led to his downfall. These relationships highlight the powerful influence women have had on him, both positively and negatively, and how personal interactions can determine our destiny. Samson had an intense and conflictual interaction with the Philistines throughout his life. His superhuman strength was often used to face and defeat his enemies, causing great fear and respect. His acts of force, such as destroying crops and killing Philistines, deeply marked this historical rivalry. Samson's relationship with God was complex and marked by ups and downs. From his birth, he was chosen to be a Nazirite, a dedicated servant. Despite his failures and wrong choices, Samson always returned to God in times of need, showing an unbreakable spiritual bond. Samson's final redemption occurred in the temple of Dagon, where he, after praying to God, regained his strength to tear down the structure, killing many Philistines along with him. This final act not only avenged his humiliation, but also reaffirmed his devotion to God, sealing his redemption. Samson's death had a significant impact on the Philistines. The destruction of the temple and the death of many of its leaders temporarily weakened its power. This event showed the vulnerability of the Philistines and highlighted the divine strength that worked through Samson, even in his final moments. Samson is remembered in Jewish tradition as a tragic hero whose life was filled with extraordinary feats and human failures. His story serves as an example of the complexities of faith, human strength, and weakness, leaving a lasting legacy of reflection and learning about the nature of power and redemption. Samson, with his monumental strength and human failings, stands out among biblical heroes. While others like David and Moses led with wisdom and faith, Samson was impulsive and vulnerable to temptation. His story reflects the struggle between divine gifts and human weaknesses, creating a complex and fascinating character. The figure of Samson, as judge of Israel, is intriguing. Unlike other judges, his leadership was solitary and marked by personal conflicts. His actions were motivated by both revenge and divine missions, creating an ambiguous legacy. His life exemplifies the tension between destiny and free will. Samson's legacy transcended the biblical pages, influencing popular culture. His story has been adapted into films, plays, and books, perpetuating his image of brute strength and emotional vulnerability. This duality continues to fascinate, making Samson a timeless icon of power and tragedy. In literature and art, Samson's strength is often symbolized as the height of physical power combined with moral fragility. Paintings, sculptures, and literary texts explore his duality, representing him sometimes as an invincible hero, sometimes as a victim of his own passions. This symbolism resonates deeply in Western culture. The story of Samson, with its lessons of strength, weakness, redemption, and tragedy, has eternal significance. It reminds us of the human potential for great things and great failures. Even in his fall, Samson found redemption, symbolizing that despite adversity, faith and courage can prevail. Thanks for watching. We hope this video has inspired and strengthened your faith. Stay with us on the Pearls of the Bible channel for more insights and biblical revelations. To the next.